There is this show called The Disastrous Life of Saiki K, and I gotta tell you, I fucking love it. Since it's Christmas holiday, I assume you guys will have a lot of free time. You know, cause you don't have any friends. I'm kidding, it's because of the lockdown. With that being said, I want to recommend this anime to all of you who haven't heard of or watched this anime yet, and I want to explain to you why you should watch Saiki K. Firstly, the settings and the characters are developed amazingly. The protagonist, Saiki K, he's a high school student who is just trying to live a normal life. There's one slight problem though, he is not normal. By that I mean he can use every psychic power imaginable. Telepathy, psychokinesis, X-ray vision, precognition, teleportation, clairvoyance. But those powers have their own limitations and downsides as well. For example, he can only teleport every 3 minutes, restore items once per day, teleport items by sending away items of equal value. These limitations are partly because of the ridiculous hairpin he's been wearing. The hairpin is a device designed to limit the power output of Saiki, because he himself cannot control the output of his power. That's the downside of his abilities. Since he cannot switch it off, he is constantly hearing people's thoughts because of telepathy, seeing skeletons instead of people because of X-ray vision, and every time his hairpin comes off, a disaster happens. Despite all of that, he tries his best to live a normal life as a high school student. I mean, just the main character in this setting is interesting enough to attract my attention, but the amazing side characters are what kept me watching. This anime has a shit ton of side characters, and somehow they managed to make every one of them unique, interesting, likable, and relatable. Well, maybe not all of them, I don't like this kid, for personal reasons, but almost all of them. I won't be able to get into all the characters, but I'll briefly go over some of my favorites. Nando, who is a sweet dumb guy that always asks people to eat ramen. Kaido, who is a really weak character with a severe case of 8th grade syndrome. Hiro, who is a helpful, caring jock that is way too energetic all of the time. Terahashi, who is a beautiful girl depicted as a goddess in the show that tries her best to be popular while acting innocently. And Takahashi, who is just a guy? Now that I've rewatched the show, I just realized that he's one of the first characters to appear on the show, yet his existence is so insignificant that I almost forgot the guy. Regardless, I like this character, he's really funny. It's important to note that the description that I made are just scratching the surface of those characters. All of the characters that I mentioned has a lot of depth to them, as we can see later in the show. Well, maybe except Takahashi. But besides him, every character has their own background story, thought process, and extreme personalities, and they each have a different chemistry with our protagonist Saiki K. When different side characters collide with each other, it's fun to watch how they will interact with each other. For example, when Terahashi meets Saiki's genius brother Kusuke, it almost seemed like a crossover episode, and it's so interesting to see those extreme characters collide with each other. So now on to the next point, which is the plot and the writing of each episode is simply amazing. Including the Netflix series, there are a total of 3 seasons. I don't know how they managed to do this, but every episode is consistently funny. Oh wait, did I mention that this is a comedy show? That's right, every episode is a combination of 5-minute stories that represents a chapter in the manga. Because they need to squeeze every chapter into a 5-minute slot, the dialogues are really fast-paced. So it might take a while for you to actually get used to the show's pace. But also because of the pace, the show is really refreshing to watch and it's really hard to get bored of it. It's simply impressive how they're able to deliver quality jokes at a machine gun pace. So now you might be thinking, well, if each story is just 5 minutes long, eventually the plots are gonna get repetitive, right? Well, that's where you'll be wrong. The amazing side characters in Saiki K alone already creates opportunities for many unique scenarios to occur. But to add on top of that, let's not forget Saiki is a psychic that sometimes cannot control his powers. Because of that, there are many ridiculous moments like stranding in an island and time traveling that refreshes the show and adds depth to the chaotic world of Saiki K. Seriously, the setting of the show is so well developed that anything can happen in the show and it wouldn't be even remotely out of place. Characters breaking the fourth wall, characters from other anime plugging their shows on this anime, characters recognizing the cliche of this anime makes watching the show such a wild and enjoyable experience. The thing I like most about this show is that even though the time is not moving in this world, which I will not talk about because it will spoil the plot, the characters and the relationships between them changes throughout the show. The most notable difference is how Saiki gradually accepts and is happy for his friend's company. There are many other examples, but I wish to minimize spoilers as much as possible. The fact that things change in the show is what differentiates it from the rest of the slice of life genre. It makes the show much more realistic and captivating. We are much more engaged in the decisions that Saiki or other characters make since there are consequences for each other's actions. If you know that whatever happens here doesn't matter since everything would be fine again in the next chapter, you can see how that affects your experience. Lastly, I want to talk about the soundtracks. The soundtracks of this show are really simple and in a way cliched, but it's precisely because of the music that sets the tone of a sarcastic and ironic scene. I remember when I used to watch this TV show with my grandpa. See, it's almost like the music is announcing an emotional backstory sarcastically. Or maybe like this: I can feel the unease wind blowing towards our town. Something's lurking in the shadows. I think it's a genius idea to make the music so cliche that it basically announces what's gonna happen. I don't particularly like the soundtracks of the show, but they just stick to your head because of how simple and how cliched it is. So that's basically why I think you should watch The Disastrous Life of Saiki K. It's available on Netflix and it's also available on most major anime streaming sites, so be sure to check it out. I guarantee it's gonna make this Christmas better. So, Happy New Year's Eve and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.